Purposely. Your life, God's purpose. Listen at purposely.com.
This is the Bible for Busy People podcast. I'm Jen, and I'm guessing that it's possible you spend a lot of time on the road, in the car, on the bus, on some kind of transportation, traveling from one place to another, commuting to work, driving kids around, going to different games and events and activities. And I have to ask, what is your favorite road trip music? So I grew up, my family, driving fairly often between states to visit our family in different places, always long drives, and I always had to have music. So I've kind of become a connoisseur of road trip mix playlists, formerly CDs. I take great pride in what I put together in my playlist. I was a fan of 70s to 80s music. I got into country. I loved alternative in my high school and college years, and then pop as well. So I am all over the map when it comes to music. If you drive with me, you will probably find something you enjoy in the playlists that I make. Music helps you get there. You can get lost in a good song. You're reminded of memories. Music can help keep you awake. It can help you relax if you're stressed out while you're driving. And this week, we're going to talk about a specific group of psalms called the Songs of Ascent, which was kind of the road trip mix for people who were traveling to Jerusalem. So we know that the Psalms are poetry, and that poetry is about a third of the Bible. From our literary genres of the Bible study that we did, we know that, I'm quoting myself here, but poetry helps us to be familiar with emotion, to connect through our emotion, to imagine things differently or see them from a different perspective, to come to an understanding of an abstract concept through description, to express praise or lament. In this case, poetry, again, serves another purpose, to accompany people on the pilgrimage to Jerusalem, which was an ascending climb up Mount Moriah, which we are going to come back to in the next couple of days. These pilgrims sang songs on the journey that was encouraging music that kept them going. It gave them encouragement in the difficult travel situations and brought joy and hope for what was to come. It was their road trip mix, if you will. Living Grace Fellowship's website says that these songs were sung in particular on the final approach to the city of Jerusalem during the 3 annual pilgrim feasts. These include Passover, Shavuot, now known as Pentecost, and Sukkot, also known as the Feast of Tabernacles. Those feasts were the main reason for pilgrims to be going up to Jerusalem to worship. And these songs are not just for them. They go along with us on our own faith pilgrimages as we seek and grow closer to God. Also, to note, authors of the Songs of Ascent are David for 4 of them, Solomon for 1 of them, and the rest are anonymous. So today we're going to read the first 3, and in the next couple days we will read 3 each day, and then also talk about some of the context and the history of Mount Moriah and what we know that the pilgrims didn't know, and then what we know that the pilgrims were actually very familiar with. So let's dig into it. Today we're reading Psalm 120, and this anonymous song speaks from the perspective of being in exile. It says, "I call on the Lord in my distress, and he answers me. Save me, Lord, from lying lips and from deceitful tongues. What will he do to you, and what more besides, you deceitful tongue? He will punish you with a warrior's sharp arrows, with burning coals of the broom bush. Woe to me that I dwell in Meshech, that I live among the tents of Kedar. Too long have I lived among those who hate peace. I am for peace, but when I speak, they are for war." And something that struck me even just as I'm reading it, this doesn't sound like a road trip song. This doesn't sound like, oh, I'm getting where I'm going, or this is a really hard journey. It doesn't even talk about journeys. It's talking about deceitful tongues and lying lips. And I wonder for these pilgrims, I wonder if there were people who maybe mocked their journey, made fun of them on the way, said, why are you subjecting yourself to this really difficult climb up to Jerusalem? And I wonder if this was encouragement for them as they're talking about making this journey and completing it and doing this out of faith, out of their desire to connect with God and to glorify God with their lives? I'm just curious. I don't actually know the answer to that, and it literally just came to me as I was recording, so had to put that out there. But you'll notice towards the end it says, "Woe to me that I dwell in Meshech and that I live among the tents of Kedar." These were places located in modern-day Turkey and the Arabian Desert, and it's interesting because last week we studied out 1 Peter, which was written to disciples living in that region that is now modern-day Turkey. And this psalm is a lament about being with the wicked. Last week, we talked about how Peter referred to us as foreigners and strangers here on earth, and how wickedness in this world affects us differently. We see it and we know it and recognize it because we're not from here. Next is Psalm 121. It says, "I lift up my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. He will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord watches over you. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore." This shifts to a reminder of who God is, our hope, but also our active help in troubled times. And then we're finishing out today with Psalm 122, which is a psalm written by David. It says, "I rejoiced with those who said to me, 'Let us go to the house of the Lord. Our feet are standing in your gates, Jerusalem.' Jerusalem is built like a city that is closely compacted together. That is where the tribes go up, the tribes of the Lord, to praise the name of the Lord according to the statute given to Israel. There stand the thrones for judgment, the thrones of the house of David. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you be secure. May there be peace within your walls and security within your citadels. For the sake of my family and friends, I will say, peace be within you. For the sake of the house of the Lord our God, I will seek your prosperity." This psalm is about looking to the city ahead, which would have been literally ahead of these pilgrims as they're singing this song. And the Enduring Word Commentary summarizes these psalms this way. In Psalm 120, we lament our surroundings. In Psalm 121, we lift our eyes to the hills of Zion. In Psalm 122, we delight in the house of the Lord. So all that to say, what songs encourage you on the journey? Modern songs, Christian songs, whatever songs you listen to on the road. What songs encourage and inspire you? And what do they remind you of? What do they make you look forward to? I'll leave you with that. We will talk again tomorrow. And by the way, there are some really awesome sources in the notes from this episode, so make sure you go and check them out if you have time. Bye.
Thank you for listening to The Bible for Busy People. If you need prayer or want to go deeper in your faith, visit our show notes. Will you take a moment to share with a friend and leave a review? It helps the Bible get into even more people's minds and hearts. Find more podcasts that will recharge you at purposely.com.
Thanks for listening. We just wanted to take a minute to let you know that just like you and your family, Purposely is also part of a family, the Krista Family of Ministries. Krista helps kids and teens learn and grow in their faith at King Schools and Miracle Ranch Camp. And Krista shares Jesus with people in the poorest, most remote places through World Concern. Krista Senior Living is a community of love and care, and Krista Media is a place of hope on the radio. God is changing lives through these 5 ministries, and Krista is on mission to share the good news of Jesus. To learn more, visit Krista.org.